high school biology book is at the center of a small-town controversy now because it describes creationism as a biblical myth, Brian.
And how would you define creationism, you silly bitch, besides a myth? What are you going to call it, a scientific theory? The scientific theory of creationism? Is that what you want to teach in these schools? Because you really don't care about the facts at all. You just care that what you believe, what you were raised to believe, is what is taught. No matter if it's full of bullshit or not.
Hey, Gretch, the book in question is called Asking About Life, and parent Kurt Zimmerman is demanding that Knoxville School Board ban it.
Yeah, banning books. That's the solution, fucking assholes. You don't hear any atheists out there saying they should ban the Bible from Sunday school. But when it comes to public school, if they don't, treat religion, especially Christianity here in America, as if it's something incredibly important that overshadows everything, including science and real proven facts with evidence and things like that, they just cry and cry and they want to ban it. And then they turn around and call us the fucking Nazis. Fuck you.
Kurt, you join us now. Kurt, what alerted you to this where you thought, I got to take action?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Well, yeah, good morning, folks. Thanks for having me this morning. Well, back last fall, my son and a few of his schoolmates brought to my attention as a concerned parent and also as a Sunday school teacher of the statements that you just read. And they felt offended by it and felt that it was really inappropriate and wasn't really necessary to even discuss that in a high school biology book.
Whatever happened to you fucks and the teach both sides, the teach the controversy type deal? I remember that's all I used to hear is we just want equal time for both things. But now that they call creationism a myth in a biology book, because it's a biology book, this ain't the Bible. This isn't some holy book. This is a science book. And now that science book says, yeah, fine, we'll let you know about some of the other ideas. If you don't like evolution, there's always creationism, which is religious myth. It's not Sunday school, motherfucker. This is publicly funded public education in America. You need to fucking get your facts straight. And Fox News will not address that. They will play this off like they are the victims. And like everyone's a victim because they call their creation story a myth. Well, what else would you call it? Where's your fucking evidence? You can't call evolution a myth because there are facts and evidence to back it up. You understand that science works against you. Creationists have no problem playing the evolution is just a theory card, but as soon as you were to say that what they believe their creation idea is just a myth, then they up in arms. Ban that book. Ban that book. The double standard is sickening. Don't fucking try and use it to your advantage, fucktards.
So I agreed to go forward and communicate with the school and find out what could be done about it. They informed me of their process and what to do to challenge a book. So I followed their process and went through it and filled out the forms. And after the holidays, they formed a review committee, put the committee together, and then basically concluded that while they didn't necessarily like the language, they were not going to do anything, and in fact leave the book and leave the statement in place, and told me that was the end of it.
Right. So they were supposed to actually vote on this, right? They were supposed to vote on this last night. It was tabled for a while. Go ahead.
At first, what happened was at the school level, the school reviewed it and screened it and determined that they weren't going to do anything with it. And then they offered to me that if I wanted to go through an appeal to the school board, which was last night, that I could do so. So I opted to have the school board review our request.
Even the school board is trying to help you out. They're not discriminating against you. They're telling you the process you need to go through in order to change the things that you feel need to be changed. However, just because you feel they need to be changed does not automatically mean it gets changed. It has to go through the school board and get voted on. And if you get voted down, that just means you lose. We're losing all over the place as liberals and atheists, especially with the Texas Board of Education. I don't hear you bitching about that.
And last night during the school board meeting, they agreed to not do anything about it and kick it down the road a bit for another month. and study it some more.
It's one thing to take religion out of schools, but to be offensive to a religion, that's your problem with this statement, to call creationism a myth.
Well, what would you have a biology textbook say? That creationism is not a myth, that it's true? I mean, that's what you're saying. If you're saying it's not a myth, you're saying it's true. And if a biology textbook is saying that creationism is true, well, then evolution can't be correct, and they have to toss out all the biological evidence and proofs that they have for evolution just because you were offended because you don't like the word myth to explain your retarded idea of how we all got here.
That's exactly right. Thank you. I mean, that is the fact. I mean, you know, there's multiple ways they could remedy this. You know, they could, you know, modify the book. They could fix that statement. What's interesting to note, too, is since I brought that issue up, there's been a host of other parents that have come forward, and there are other things in that book that are pretty, you know, technically inaccurate and things of that nature. So it's more than just the statement that I was concerned about.
And yet you're not bringing up a single one of those examples of other things that are factually incorrect in this book. In fact, there is nothing factually incorrect that you've shown me, because the myth that God created the earth in 7 days or 6 days and rested on the seventh, it's out of a holy book, a Bible. Would you be okay with them teaching the creation myth of other religions? But we can't call them myths either. So basically, every religious story out there, every creation story, even the ones that differ from yours and with a different God, you should be fine with, and they should teach all of those. It's the craziest shit I've ever heard. These people are asking for, like, the teach the controversy bullshit, teach both sides, but there's not just two sides. There's science and what's true, and then there's all the bullshit. And since what you believe falls into one of the all of the bullshit categories, you are pissed off. But if that was to be allowed, what you want, they would have to teach all the bullshit. There would be no time left for actual science and actual biology, actual facts, actual evidence, you know, all the things you and Fox News don't give a fuck about.
So it's kind of grown a little bit. But
we dissolved
the board
that in.
kind of broke it up into...
But let me just bring it to the right passage in case someone wasn't looking at the screen when we dissolved it in. It's on page 319. Creationism is the biblical myth that the universe was created by the Judeo-Christian God in 7 days. When you read that, you said, forget it, I gotta do something about this.
Yeah, well, I guess I gotta do something about it too, because I don't think that your myth should be anywhere in the biology book. Anywhere. Shouldn't talk about religion or other creation stories or whatever the fuck you think should be in a biology book. Biology books should be about biology. Things with evidence. Science, you know? The theories about it, the proof, all the evidence that you have to go through in order to actually have peer-reviewed information to put into a textbook. You don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't think it should be in any textbook. Put it in a religions class. World religions is a class I took in college. Taught about all kinds of different religions. We didn't have to read the Bible. Nobody got upset if we called one religion a myth. It was, you know, open-minded discussion about things. Certainly wasn't in my fucking biology course.
Well, yeah, and it was really the kids that identified it. I mean, I'm not smart enough to pick that stuff up, but they are, you know, and so they identified it and brought it forward to me, you know, and I felt obligated, you know. I mean, we've got to walk our talk here, and I felt obligated to carry it forward for them. They deserved that, to at least to have it been heard.
Well, see, I guess I can agree with them there, because, you know, my daughter, she was in math class, and I taught her that 1 + 1 = 3. And in math class, they were trying to teach her that 1 + 1 = 2. And now, I know, because my daddy taught me, and it says in a book that my daddy read, and he took it to heart, that 1 + 1 really equals 3. So when they tried to teach my daughter that 1 + 1 = 2, and she spoke up about it, I knew that I had to give her a voice. We have to be able to show all the angles. It can't just be what the facts are. We have to teach what other people believe as well. And since I believe 1 + 1 = 3, I believe that you should change all your math courses from now on to say so.
And you're a good example of somebody who saw something and you're taking action, and that's a great example for your kid.
Yeah, and believe me, it's not about me, it's about them, and it's about the issue, and that's really what I've been trying to do all along, is to try to keep me out of this, and I really didn't even want to do this because it's truly the issue and not me.
Ah, yes, the issue that you need to do the PR for God, because he's not good enough to do it. God can't do anything about it. I wonder why God doesn't do anything about it. Huh? I wonder why God doesn't do anything about it, and then other people call it a myth. That is, something to ponder, isn't it?
My message quickly to parents is get involved, look at the textbooks your kids have, engage your schools and school boards, and follow through on it and make them accountable for it.
Yep, and it sounds like you were determined because it's been a whole heck of a lot of work.
Yeah, it's not about you, not at all. That's what you said earlier, right?
And that's really what I've been trying to do all along, is to try to keep me out of this, and I really didn't even want to do this because it's truly the issue and not me.
But you sure as hell made it about you, didn't you? I don't even think that they should ban Fox News for being as retarded as they are. I just think they deserve to be called out, just like this dumbass.
And I'm not smart enough to pick that stuff up, but they are, you know.
Octopus out.
But they all do sort of the same thing, and that is rearrange what you thought was real.